Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beta Mails, the show where we play a bunch of beta games and let you know if they're worth playing, if they're going to last, the pros, cons, what we liked about them, all that good stuff. And this week we played Splitgate, which is a sort of first-person shooter, but it has portals involved. If you ever played the game Portals, it's like it plays like Unreal, looks like Halo, but it has portals in it. And it's by 1047 Games. Started out a very small studio. They could be considered AAA now, I think. They've raised over $120 million to fund this game, and it started two guys in a dorm room, and that's where the 1047 comes from, address of their dorm room. So let's get right into it. I'm the Mangoose. With me as always is the Viking Jedi, and with me as sometimes is Jelly Knees. He's not a permanent member of the cast in any way. So let's go around and talk about is this game worth it? Should you download it and play it? It is a free game. Viking Jedi, lead us off.
I am going to say yes. I hesitate only in a little bit, and it's because it's an FPS game, and I know a lot of people are not fans of FPS. So with that caveat said, if you don't mind first-person shooters, this game probably will fit something that you'll enjoy. It's got very fast-paced combat. Mangus really nailed it on the head. It kind of feels like Unreal Tournament mixed with Halo mixed with Portal. And there's a lot of potential for outplays, and the game modes are really, really intuitive. There's casual play, ranked play. So being in beta at this point, and having a lot of these things kind of already in the game and ready for players to enjoy, I would say, yeah, absolutely. Put some hours into it. See if it's something that speaks to you.
Jelly Knees?
I would say, yeah, that people should definitely pick up this game if it looks interesting to them. If they enjoy FPS games and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that makes me hesitate to recommend it at the same time is there are aspects of FPS games that are already frustrating, right? When you get killed and you didn't see somebody, whatever it is. When you add portals into the mix of an FPS game, those aspects are ramped up to 11.
Sure.
Because now they shot a portal behind you and shot you through the portal, right? And so then it just feels awful sometimes to get killed. And so if that turns you off of other FPS games, this probably isn't the one for you.
Yeah.
Because that just, like I said, is way more constant, way more rampant throughout the game. But otherwise, I'd recommend it for sure.
Yeah, I would also recommend this game. It's really easy to pick up and play, so just anybody just playing the game I think can have fun with it. The tutorial was super good. If you fail at whatever they're trying to get you to do, they show you a little video showing you what you were supposed to do and to spur you along. The
I think
aim.
Mango's saying he failed to jump across a 2-inch gap.
Here's what I failed at. It said to teleport behind the enemy. It didn't say anything about hitting the enemy, so I teleported behind him, and I'm like, okay, well, I did it. So I teleported back, and then I thought it was like bugged or something. Then it showed me a video. You're supposed to teleport behind him and punch him in the head twice. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, I did mess up the tutorial just a little bit. But, I don't know, yeah, it's a crazy fun game. I think the hallmark of a good game is the ability to think of cool shit and then actually do cool shit, and you can definitely do some pretty cool shit in this game. And the aim is just very, very forgiving for new players. Like, if I can headshot people, then anybody can headshot people. So that's I think that's definitely a plus for the game. So let's move in. Let's talk about what we liked about Portals, and then we'll get into what we disliked about Portals. So Jelly Knees, you want to start us out? What did you like about Portals?
So I think...
Or Splitgate. I keep saying Portals.
I knew what you meant. It's okay. It's okay. I've worked with you long enough, even though I'm not a permanent cast member on this show. I get it. But I think overall, I really enjoy the game. I really like the idea of using portals. And like you said, it's the idea of thinking of doing something cool and then executing that thing. Right? I mean, I was just talking to you before we recorded, Mangoose. Like, I found a way to sit perfectly in a portal, kind of floating up in the air, and I could just shoot people from above. And I'm sure that's not intended, but it was fun. And that's all that matters, right? And so and stuff like that. Like, being able to... They have certain maps that you can take your momentum, right? You jump off of an area through a portal and shoot yourself out and up and over something else, right? Super, super cool. And if you can get a kill while doing that, even cooler, right? Like, all around, really, really cool idea. And I think they've really executed the portals well, because that gimmick could have easily gone very poorly, especially with a small dev team like they had early on, right? That gimmick could have gone very poorly very fast, and I think they've done a good job of putting the portal areas around the map where you can and can't teleport. The gun plays pretty good most of the time, and so I think they've done a good job overall. What about you, Viking?
Yeah, I mean, I echo that. I think the main thing for this game is the portaling. I think that's really where the skill cap of the player is really going to shine. I think most of our games where we got a chance to play, we would very rarely like get outgunned, quote unquote. Like we would win a lot of, if it's just like, me versus the team as far as just shooting, we would win a lot or come at least even. It was when we went up against a team that really understood not only their team play but how to use the portals efficiently. And so I think that's a very, very cool aspect, but also like, very difficult to master. And so there's a lot of interesting parts to that. And in this game, you can go through enemy portals. You can go through your teammates' portals. You can close your portals afterwards. I was watching a guy, and he was doing some crazy stuff. He was teleporting across the map, closing one, opening another, closing another one, so you couldn't be chased around, and just flying all over the place. And it was like, what is this? Like, it's like watching a Portal speed run or something. Like, the guy was insane. And but that's super cool. Like, I like that guy is being rewarded for his hand-eye coordination and understanding of the physics of the portals. And there's a lot of outplay potential. I saw a clip on their Twitter of a guy who took put portals on each side of himself and took a rocket launcher and launched the rocket through it, and it was just sending the rocket through. And some random enemy just came walking by, didn't know what was going on, and got hit by the rocket. Perfect. Big fan of that. It just was really funny. But it kind of gives you guys like an idea of like the stuff that is possible in this game, and it is very, very neat. One thing is, just like in Portals, you can't shoot your portal through a portal, so you have to be actually physically through the plane of the portal to be able to do it. But outside of the portals, I think the gunplay is actually pretty good too. I wouldn't say that any other than I'd say maybe the rocket launcher is obviously always going to feel a little not fun when you're the one getting hit by it, but super fun when you're the one doing it. So that's just rocket launchers. I think in any game it's going to always feel like that. But I think in like the core of the game, so like your sniper rifles, your shotguns, your SMGs, your pistols, all of those I think feel good overall. And like Mangu said, the forgiveness of the recoil and management in that regard is absolutely there. If you get good at it, you'll tap heads, but even if you're not necessarily always hitting headshots, you'll still feel like you can participate in the damage. But yeah, that stuff, it's fast, very, very fast, super, super fun. Also very, very frustrating in certain parts, but I think that's also what it should be about in an FPS. So it's like, to me, the frustration is a good and bad thing, but yeah, the portals are very, very much the centerpiece, I think, of what makes this game in this environment of FPSs super unique and fun. That and the game modes. The game modes, I think, are also really cool. They got almost like every Halo game mode that I can think of, and it's their own version of it, but really cool. What about you, Mingus?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention, is the variety in this game. You have a pretty large variety of weapons. You got a large variety of skins and stuff that you can buy if you want to. That's how they monetize, is through cosmetics and through a battle pass and stuff. Unfortunately, well, they have drops, but we'll get to that when we talk about what we don't like about the game. But yeah, the variety was there. The amount of maps, there was a crap load of maps, crap load of weapons, and the game modes, like you had like zombie VIP, you had capture the flag, you had laser tag, you had like one headshot kills, like the SWAT team thing. It was like, there had to have been about 35, 40 different game modes that you could play. It was insane. Like, ranked was a bit of a different story. You kind of had one game mode if you were doing 3v3, and then you had a couple different game modes if you were playing 4v4. But yeah, just the huge variety with the game. You had melee weapons, and the weapons, I think, were fairly balanced in how they would be used. Like the rocket launchers, of course, stupid powerful, but you only get 2 shots with it, and you run out of ammo with it real quick. Like, I think you only have a total of 4 shots that you can fire off before you're out of ammo for the rocket launcher. Same thing with the railgun. The railgun's just an instant one-shot kill no matter where you hit somebody, but it takes a while for it to spin up, and you only got 4 shots. You got the baseball bat, which is the melee weapon, that's just another instant kill, but you can only swing it. you're going to hit people 4 times before it runs out of energy and you can't use it anymore. So I think they have a good balance of like about, you know, how much ammo everything uses and like how much time it takes to use and all that sort of stuff. None of the weapons really, I think, felt useless. I think they all kind of had their place in some way or another. I think the laser weapon that like shot little pulse lasers, I think, was probably the weakest in my opinion. But still, that one's still, if you could hit somebody with that thing, they were dead pretty quick. Yeah, just all around pretty well balanced game, pretty fun game, lots of stuff to do in it. But yeah, I think that's about all the good things I got to say about it. Jill, you got anything else?
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with the game modes, Mangoose, in that like it feels like there's 10 types of game mode and 10 versions of different things, and then they mix and match in their procedural. So you get SWAT Fiesta VIP zombies, and you're like, okay, sure, like I'm in, let's play, right? Like it's different maps on top of that and all of those things. And I think for like ranked, I love that they kind of created a style of map for ranked, like the 3v3 ranked specifically, right? And they have probably 10 or 12 maps for ranked as well that go through, and you go in with decided weapons every single time. There's usually an SMG and a battle rifle and maybe an auto rifle depending on the map, and then but that's it. It's very simplified, very straightforward, and then it's just whoever can kill the entire other team at the same time. And I think that's a great way to do ranked, where it's not, we did a couple games of 4v4 ranked and it just feels way different in comparison to the 3v3 ranked.
There were people picking up rocket launchers and rail guns and all sorts of shit, and it felt like you were losing to the gun, not the person.
Exactly. Whereas this definitely feels like you lose to positioning, portals, and the player more than it feels like you lose to the gun most of the time.
Right. I think to that too, there is a separate queue for the 4v4, so it's not, separate ranking. So you have your own ranking for the 4v4 that's separate from the 3v3. I would say that 3v3 feels like more of a traditional competitive mode. And I love speaking of ranked, I love the mode in itself. The way that you win the game is, so you have to kill the other enemy team, sure. And after every kill, the spawn timer starts to get up. And so the first team to kill all 3 players wins. And so you have, at first, spawns like 1 second, then it goes up to like 3 seconds, and then 5 seconds, 7, and it starts to get pretty big pretty quickly. And you end up with some really crazy shot calls, some really crazy outplays. And, I think it leaves a lot to there being a strategic competitive aspect. There's something to be said, like if you've got 3 players who are really, really good at just winning their 1v1s, then you split apart and really dominate the map as a whole. There's also sticking together and making sure that you win the fights and, just get spawn timers as high as possible and win that way. I mean, there's just so many different variations. And then again, with the skill set of being able to teleport. I mean, we went against a team that just really understood not only how to fight, coordinate, and teleport all over the place. And we were just like, dude, it just felt oppressive. Like we were just like, it was almost frustrating, but also impressive because they were just so good at being able to utilize everything. I also like that there's a voting system for which map you pick, and that goes across all of the modes. So you can pick different maps. So if you start to really not like one map, you can, try and vote and go for a different map. And that's in ranked and in regular game mode. So that's the other thing. The maps are really, really well designed, in my opinion. There's like only a few that I just really didn't like, but that's also probably just me. There might be other people who are just like, dude, I fucking love that map, and I just hate it. But there's like, I mean, they play with height like crazy, so you'll have like, basement type stuff, you'll have stuff where it looks like it's up in the sky, and everything in between. You'll have lots of different levels, and then you have like really simple one like the stadium, where it's just basically mirrored sides, and it's really small and very fast paced and crazy, and all the game modes for the most part will play in every single one. And I think that's really, really cool. I think that part of it was fun to explore and kind of figure out we haven't done this game mode yet. What's this like? And then we'll see, oh, I didn't like that. That sucked. Or maybe it sucked on that map, and then you play it on a different map and it's not so bad. You actually kind of like it or whatever. And so, I really liked the whole design of their maps and the different game styles. And like I said, it feels like playing Halo with portals or Unreal with portals or something with portals. It just, yeah.
And there's a map creator too. I didn't really dick around with it, but you can make your own maps and play on them if you want to.
And they have like a
racing
contest
mode, or
yeah,
they have a contest.
So they have contests. I think that they run regularly with the custom map. So if you come up with a custom map, I think they might be running one right now. I think I saw it on their Twitter or it just ended. But if you come up with a really good custom map, they'll look to add it into the game. And I just thought that was, so some of these maps maybe were player maps at one point. I don't know. I would have to do a little bit more research on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some really creative people out there in the community, not only making custom games for yourself and your friends or your community if you're like a streamer or something like that, but if Splitgate sees it and they're like, hey, that's actually a really cool design, let's implement that into the full game. I think that's a real possibility. But yes, there is racing. You can have speed racing and all that stuff. It's actually pretty fun. I don't know if you guys got a chance to do it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of cool. Challenges your portal skills.
The game itself too is just very complete. They're calling it season 2 of their open beta. And this game's complete. This is a full game. Like I don't think there's any reason to be calling this a beta right now. But yeah,
I don't know what they could be really worried about.
Yeah, that's kind of a positive and a negative. Like it's one of those things in the industry where they call something a beta long after it's just a fully complete realized game. You know what I mean? But this one, yeah, it's pretty damn complete, so I think that's good. If you go into it seeing that it's a beta and expecting there to be a lot of shortcomings, this one is what it is.
Yeah, only a few bugs. I would say nothing too crazy.
And I think one of the other good things I just thought about is the new player onboarding. They limit you to like a handful of the easier game modes to start, and then as you level up and as you play more games, then the list of game modes expands and expands again. Up to, I think it's 12 different like sets of game modes that they give you access to once you hit level 15. I think that's a great way to do it. It's not you getting tossed into one of the more complicated like King of the Hill direct hardcore PvP game modes, right? You can get into some of the more lightweight, easier game modes early on, get your grips with the game, and then move on to the more crazy ones. And you can deselect any of the ones you really don't like.
Oh, that's such a good point.
Zombie VIP. You can deselect that one out of the playlist. You will only play the other ones.
Don't deselect that one. It's so fun.
I agree. I think that's a really cool idea as well, to really allow players to select what the game modes they want to play.
What has been your guys' favorite of the modes before we wrap up and go into the negatives? Like, what if you had to pick one? I think Zombie VIP was one I didn't expect to be as cool. It's kind of like Protect the President style, but like a little bit of a twist on it. But I don't know. The first time we played it, I was laughing so hard. I think it was just me and Mangoose when we first started it, and I was just giggling like crazy. It was just because I think you start off like you have everybody on the team is going super fast with a bat, and then the VIP zombie or whatever has a shotgun. And I got VIP and I was using the shotgun and I was just tapping kids. They were running at you like, oh, they're coming in fast. Pacoo, pacoo, pacoo. I was just laying them out, dude. And I was just giggling. I remember just laughing so hard. I had a blast. So I think that and the ranked mode in general has been my favorite. I've really, really enjoyed the 3v3 ranked. It's super, super fun. We didn't mention Raven. Raven played this game with us, and the kid is a god. Like, he just is so good at this game.
Raven's really good at any kind of shooting game.
I get the feeling that's true, but yeah, he was playing really well, and he was talking about, like, he's like, I feel like this game was made for me, because it's just fast, twitchy, like, again, a super outplay potential, but yeah, so Raven also got to join in on us. He seemed like he was having a good time. But what did you guys think? What was your favorite game mode if you have one?
Joel, you good?
Zombie VIP is definitely up there for sure. I think Shoddy Sniper is another one.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that's probably a community favorite right there. Yeah.
Shoddy Snipers. I mean,
you see every time it's up in the rotation of like votes, it always gets all the votes, right? Everybody's like, yeah, Shoddy Sniper.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you think it is. It's just shotguns and snipers. That's all you get.
But I think I would probably say that the ranked 3v3s is my favorite game mode, actually. Like, I think it's a really well-designed ranked gameplay mode. And I think that's fantastic for it. What about you, Mangoose?
I actually really liked the SWAT team mode, where it was just headshots were one hit kills, and you had battle rifles. That was a lot of fun for me, even though I'm not the best at getting headshots. Like, I pulled out some crazy shit, and that was fun. So
Yeah,
I like
I
that
agree
one.
with that. And I like that with that mode too, you can still do other stuff. It's not just team deathmatch. Like you'll have ones where you're playing domination or you're playing,
Yeah.
Squad
a different.
Fiesta.
Yeah, you'll have a few different types of, and yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I just think that it seems like they're guys who played all three games that we mentioned and said, let's just push them all together. But they didn't do so in like a shitty way. Like it just seemed like they played these types of games. They know what was good and bad about all of them because they all feel like we talked about with the guns. None of them feel crazy overpowered. Like all of them. I mean, I thought for sure shotgun was overpowered. I felt because I just felt like I was constantly crushing people with shotgun. But then I see other people running around and they suck with the shotgun. So I was like, okay, well maybe I'm just good with the shotgun and those guys suck with it. And then I go against guys who are just headshot masters, dude, and they get a sniper rifle in their hands, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, they're going to tap you in the face, and you're just like, okay, well that sucks to play against. So how am I supposed to win that? So yeah, no, I think that they really nailed overall like the things. I mean, I know we're about to go into the negatives, and there are definitely some things they need to work on, but overall, I think it's a really solid game, free to play, technically in beta. I'm not sure what it is that they still feel like they need to work on, but obviously they're doing so. But yeah. Any final thoughts before we jump into the negatives?
No, I think I'm good. I think the biggest negative we experienced was the matchmaking, where we would be in a group and suddenly we weren't in a group. Like,
yeah,
that's a pretty major bug there, and stuff like we wouldn't be able to see Jelly online, or we wouldn't be able to see Viking online. There's a lot of stuff with their back end matchmaking that is kind of borked. And a lot of times you wouldn't even know. Like you go into like a little arena before the game starts, and you're just kind of fighting around, dicking around, free for all. And like we would get in the games, and then suddenly realize that Jelly's in his own game, and Viking and I are in a completely different game. It's like, what's the fucking point of queuing as a team if you're not going to actually be in a team? So I think that's probably their biggest issue that they need to address for this game, because they know that it's happening, and like it's an acknowledged bug. It's something they need to fix.
I had to jump in real quick because now that I'm thinking about it, maybe part of my favorite fun modes is actually the in-between round fun mode. Because we had one where it was bugged out and we were all just running around. I don't know. We weren't paying
like
attention
for 30 minutes.
It felt like forever. We were just in queue to go into a game, and it was a bug. We were just in it, but we weren't alone. There's a bunch of other people, but we were running around in this free-for-all fiesta with all these weapons, just laughing our asses off as we just decimated each other. I don't know. It was a long time. I don't know if it was 20 or 30 minutes, but it felt like it was a while before what. But the thing was, is we were doing it and having so much fun, and then we realized, wait, why aren't we in a game?
Yeah.
What is going on? So I just want to throw that in there. The in-between rounds thing, actually, for me, it keeps me fresh and feeling good in between the rounds. So you're not really losing like that lull between. So if you're, a high, boredom kind of guy like me, where your brain turns off if you're not entertained immediately all the time, it really keeps you fresh. But it's also so much fun when you headshot your friend who came around a corner and they didn't know you were there, and you get to yell at them and tell them that they're bad at the game, which is what I did to both of these guys, like constantly.
And I'm gonna find that clip where I headshot you in free for all mode and put it up as you're saying that.
Fair enough. Anyway, go ahead, Jelly, into your negatives. What did you think?
I mean, I think the biggest one, and I'm sure we could go into this forever, is I'm not even going to say the fact that they use loot boxes, because I don't necessarily think that the way they do it is inherently bad.
Right. Free
to play game, you do earn them over time. Fine. But I think my biggest issue is the rate that you earn them is way too slow. Like it's not every time your account levels up like Overwatch did. Every time your account leveled up, you got a loot box. And granted, that time gets longer and longer between every single one. But the first 40 levels, you get a loot box, right? Every single time. Great. But this is, you can do it once a day. You complete your dailies. That's it. And that just feels awful sometimes. I mean, I'm level 24 or 25 at this point, and I've opened maybe 3, maybe 4. Because sometimes you don't, especially if we're like playing ranked, one of the dailies is use a railgun. Well, there are no railguns in ranked.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've got to go into a different mode to get the loot box or whatever it is. Or I just don't complete the daily for that day, whatever. Like it just, that kind of like progression feels really slow, and it sucks. Like Viking's still using the base guy's skin,
Yeah,
right? Like that's.
it's
I got lucky enough to
disgusting.
roll a skin out of the box, but he looks like the noob who just rolled off the boat.
That's why I was
And-
glaring at Mangoose earlier. I was like I don't know if you guys saw it, but I was like glaring because I was like, dude, I've not got a fucking skin in this game yet.
He has more time played than either of us, but I have 2 skins and he has none.
I'm so mad.
Right, and that's. I mean, it wouldn't feel so bad if you were at least you going like, okay, I have half a level left till my next loot box, so I can try again, right? Or whatever it might be. So, like I said, not bashing the loot boxes directly, though I wish they weren't loot boxes. But if you're gonna have loot boxes, at least make it feel like I'm earning something for my time more consistently than I have been.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I agree with that. I've played more than both of these guys. I've opened a decent amount of boxes at this point, but I also was doing exactly what Jelly was saying. I was hunting to do the things. So there's a free battle pass, and there's missions that go with the free battle pass, as well as the premium battle pass has its own mission. So you have 2 sides to the missions, as well as just the progression across the battle pass as a whole. But so doing the free ones, like there's different modes you have to do. So I did like a couple races that you have to beat, and then you get, progression in that. It does feel a little off sometimes. It doesn't feel like you're really getting a chance to progress even as a free-to-play player, and I definitely don't have a problem with a game wanting to monetize. Like I get that, like especially this is free-to-play. It's a good game. They should be making money. I want them to continue making money. And it just there needs to be, I think, something, and I bring this up a lot, but I think Fortnite really nails it. Like I feel like they have a good way of being able to get people who are playing free-to-play access to something, even if they're not like the coolest, craziest, cool skins that like you see all the streamers running around in who are just throwing hundreds of dollars at the shop all the time. You do have access or get opportunities to earn towards the free skins, and just to be able to have some expressionism, and I think that's always important. Outside of that, though, I will say, and this is kind of going to the good, the weapon skins themselves, I really, really do like that they're progression based. So you can actually start to, like, I just unlocked for the pistols because we've been playing so many ranked. I got enough headshots with pistols or whatever that I unlocked a cooler than normal skin that's got like glowy stuff coming off of it or whatever, and I think that's pretty neat. Almost everybody that we see, though, in game with skins are the stuff that they bought from the store. It doesn't seem like any of them are really ones that you can progress and earn towards that are like really high up there. They're all store-bought skins, and they look really neat, and they make you feel like a butthole when you're sitting there with a plain fat guy blue Smurf fucking suit. And I'm not a fan of that.
Again, as I said in game, how do you think I feel having to go into the match?
I get it.
With you wearing that shit by my side.
Yeah, no, I know.
After I worked so hard to
so
randomly get those skins.
I do want to touch on one other thing that I've been annoyed with, and that's actually with the progression. So right now, one of the weeklies is bugged for me. So I need to do 7,500 damage in a team play mode or whatever. So every time I play one, it doesn't matter how much damage I do. I was tracking it, and I get 1 point added to the 7,500. 1 point. So for whatever reason, it's not counting that damage that I'm doing in game towards that. So I can't complete my weekly right now. And that weekly would give me an orb, which then that orb that gives me a chance to probably not get a skin. I'm going to get a weapon skin or something like that. So I'll not look as cool, but I can't even complete it. So it's like I can't even put time towards that thing at all. So I don't know if it's bugged. I tried looking it up. Nobody else is talking about it. So maybe it's just a me bug. I don't fucking know. But it's very frustrating that there are still obviously present those bugs. And maybe that's why it's in beta still. Some of the code is still not quite where they want it to be for these types of things. I think that's... Oh, another one. And this is almost every fucking game that has buy skins. You have to buy tokens first, and then you have to buy the skins. And the tokens are never the same fucking price as what you're going to buy. So if I wanted to buy the premium pass, I have to, it's $10. But they don't have a $10 one. They have a $5 one, $100 ones, or a $20 one. So what are you going to do? Are you going to work your way up to this? No, it's like, so you end up having to spend technically more money to be able to get it. But then you end up with these leftover currencies. Can you buy anything in the shop with the leftover currencies? Fuck no, you can't. You can't buy shit with those leftover currencies. So I hate it, and all these free-to-play games do it. League of Legends has been doing it forever. I know, it's just like, I just think it's disingenuous. I think it's predatory. I hate it. I just, if you're gonna charge me $10 for your fucking battle pass, just let me pay $10 for it. Don't do all these other gimmicks. If I like your game, I'm going to put money into it, and I'm going to buy your shit. Like, just leave it, let it be what it is. Like, stop doing these little penny pinching things. And I'm not talking about like where different currencies from across the world don't always translate well. I get that. That's going to always be like something that's tough to deal with. This is outside of that. This is obviously a choice that they are making from a business perspective to get people to spend more money so that way they can buy the stuff that they want and be left over with stuff that they can't actually spend on. And I just hate that.
Especially on Steam, because Steam has the integration. You can just pay $9.90 if that's what the thing costs. Right? You can just pay $5. You can just pay $7.50. You can just pay $8, right? Steam has that integration built in. So it's definitely something they could do, but it falls into that because psychologically, if you have some left over, you're going to want to spend it to try and get that as low as possible so you can get it down to zero or as close to zero. And it's just one of those psychological things that these companies...
And it probably works, and I hate it.
I'm sure it does.
It doesn't work on me because even with like League of Legends, I played that game a lot, and I've spent a decent amount of money on it. I don't level up to the next thing to be able to buy something else. Like, I just wait until I have enough of the currency by just playing the game to be able to eventually unlock whatever it is that I want to unlock. But they burnt me out on it. I was like, I got tired of doing that shit. Like, I'm not going to put in $15 to buy a $12 skin. I'm just tired of it. Like, it's predatory and stupid, and I hate it. But I did almost buy the battle pass like 7 times because I just want to have a different skin than the stupid blue one that I have. I'm not gonna do it though. You're not getting my fucking money, Splitgate. You're pissing me off. No, they probably will, actually. I can't. Yeah. It's a good game.
Every time we load in, he's like, I almost bought the battle pass today.
Every time. So this is something that the guys know about me, but because we keep playing so many different games, I feel like silly buying a battle pass and then not completing it. And because we just end up moving on to another game, not only just for the show, but just because I guess we all have ADHD or whatever, and we can't just stay on one game for very long. We have to move on to something else quickly. But if I buy this battle pass, then we're gonna move on to playing something else, and then I'm going to be sitting there with a battle pass that's just rotting away for no reason.
That's what was going through my head today when I Alt F4'd and you were like, what about your rank? I don't give a shit about my rank in this game, especially because we're probably not going to be playing it next week. Like,
God damn it.
I mean, that kind of falls into the whole will it last category is, like, I think this is an opinion I think all of us have had, and Raven definitely had it. If this was out and Veiled Experts was out at the same time, I would be playing Veiled Experts. Like, this is a fun game, don't get me wrong, but I get bored with it pretty easy. Like, I couldn't play this all night. Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat boredom and somewhat just stimulation overload. Like, I can't just play something this. It's not strategic at all. It's just all tactical, and I just can't keep my brain in that mode for that long in a healthy way.
And I think, so I mean, a big part of it, like if you think back to Halo multiplayer specifically, the thing that kept Halo multiplayer alive was the new Halo, right? It wasn't the game, it wasn't the multiplayer itself in the majority of cases for the majority of players.
Right.
It was, oh, I'm playing Halo 2's multiplayer, and now Halo 3 is out. I'm going to go play Halo 3's multiplayer. Or I really enjoyed Halo 2's multiplayer, but now Halo 3 is out. Right? And that the new game is what revitalizes those multiplayers. I mean, Halo Infinite is the prime example. Halo Infinite was big when it first launched. Now it's got next to no players in terms of its multiplayer. And that's a free-to-play multiplayer, no less. Not even behind the Halo purchase. And I think that's where this game's going to struggle, is how does it create staying power? How does it do something new on a consistent enough basis to keep players coming back? Right? In games like League of Legends, new characters are the thing. Right? A new character comes out that fits the lane or the role that I play. Okay, maybe I'll go back to the game. Even if it's been 5 years. Right? What does Splitgate have? Right? It's got cosmetics. And that's the hard part. The gimmick is the portals. The game modes are already really good, right? It's not even that the game modes are bad, right? But that's not something that's going to keep people around. What do they do that keeps reinventing that wheel time and time again to bring players back or keep players around? But either way,
so the staying power, I think, is going to come from, to me, exactly what we're talking about. I think so. I don't play Halo because I just don't really. I think Halo's gotten to a point where it's kind of just boring for me. I don't really enjoy it. It's not. I don't know. It was fun at first just because of the nostalgia of playing Halo, but after a little bit of playing it, I was just like, I'm back. I don't. There's other, I think, shooters that are more fun to play. Mm-hmm. I agree. If this in Veiled Experts were out, I would probably be playing Veiled Experts a lot more. That's not to say though, once we got done with playing some Veiled Experts, if we were just like, because Veiled Experts burns you out too. It's a game that can be very frustrating to play and can be one that just like, God, I just don't feel like dealing with that right now or whatever, because metas change, things move around. So I can see Splitgate having a player base, but it's going to be a player base that is coming to it because it's not their main game, but it's a fun game to play with friends that fits that niche. Because I can easily see all three of us when we're playing almost any other game and be like, hey, you guys want to jump into Splitgate and just like fuck around for a bit? And I'll be like, yeah, it's a fun game, why not? It's free to play, so it's easy to download, if you don't have it downloaded. And I think the only way that they're going to keep it going monetarily is if they fix their store and fix their, because while the battle pass I think is a good idea and it's going to keep people that are interested in playing the game every day getting rewards for that investment in time, your casual players or players like us who are going to bounce around from different games, the battle pass just doesn't have any value. But if you have skins or other things that are going to speak to those players and have they come back like, ooh, there's a new cool skin in the shop, I'll spend $5-10 on it. I like this game anyway. I haven't played it in a little while or whatever, and you'll do it. Because that's, I think, the same thing with League is like, you'll take a break for a while. It's free to play. You download it, you come back, and new champion or whatever, you buy the champion. Oh, they got like skins for it too, and those really cool skins. All right, I'll spend $10. I haven't spent $10 on League in a while. Boom, they just made $10, right? So I think that there's a place for it. The first person shooter genre is so massive at this point, but I mean, people are still playing Apex, people are still playing PUBG, people are still playing Halo. People are playing Call of Duty still, and I agree with with Jelly's point about the next thing was the thing kind of moving. Call of Duty falls into that exact same category, like Modern Warfare. Okay, now Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3. Now it's it just. The reason why the audience keeps moving forward with the new iterations. This game doesn't have iterations. It's literally probably going to just be what it is. And you almost wonder if they shot themselves in the foot by having so much already available. Because if they were to say oh, hey, we just added 3 new maps and 2 new game modes, maybe people would be returning or whatever. But I just don't know. So I think it's I'm 50-50 on the staying power, to be honest. I do think that it could be one of those games that's in the back of people's Steam list or whatever, or on your library, that we really enjoyed playing that game. There's nothing stopping us from just jumping in and playing it for a little bit. But I feel like I have games like that and I still don't do it. I don't know. It's tough. I'm like I said, I'm 50-50.
It's not staying power because the game is bad.
No, the game didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
It's just not doing enough right. And that's not even necessarily them doing anything wrong still. It's I also think that maybe just as gamers, we're not really in the same space to keep throwing umpteen amount of hours into games. Unless it's a single player game where it's start and end, I just don't see myself putting in hundreds of hours into games anymore.
Here's my thing. This is the reason I mean, it's going to be around in 2 years, but I think it's going to be like Fall Guys. There's going to be a bunch of people that rush to it, and then it's just going to fall off, and you don't hear about it anymore. I think the main reason for that is because as fun as it is, and as cool as the portals are a gimmick, not depth. Veiled Experts had depth through a lot of the gunplay, learning how to control the guns, investing money.
The characters. Again, I think
V Rising has a lot of depth.
They don't have something they can add consistently to bring players back. Right? Characters being a big thing there, right? New maps are cool, but I will never look at a game and be like, oh, they put a new map out, I should go play that. Because that's not enough. right? Whereas Veiled Experts, I could go 2 years without playing Veiled Experts, and they're like, oh yeah, we just released a new guy, can turn invisible. I'll be like, I'm in. Let's boot it up, go into Veiled Experts, right?
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Sure.
Splitgate doesn't have that thing that I feel, or at least that I'm aware of, that I can think of off the top of my head. And maybe they have plans for that going forward. But they don't have the new character. They don't have the big thing that would actually draw me back in. I think that's the hardest part for them. And that's why you see that so many games nowadays do have those things.
Yeah.
Right? Even Call of Duty tried to go that route with the specialists. They tried to create unique characters that they could then add more of to draw people back in. Apex does it, League does it, all of those things. Overwatch.
Yeah. I think it's just an arcade game, to be honest. I mean, it's an arcade game with the mix of having competitive, which, and the competitive feels good, to be honest. Like, again, if you're a competitive shooter type guy and this stuff speaks to you, I think there's absolutely a scene for this game. I don't know if us three, maybe, and that could be part of it, we're just all a little bit biased and have like the same kind of mindset as we approach games. I do think that there's going to be people who will stick with this game every single day, put hundreds of hours into it and do all that stuff. You know, I'm not one of them. I mean, I'll maybe put hundreds of hours over the course of time because it's just free to play and it's going to sit in my Steam library. So as long as servers are open and there's a player base, I'll jump in and play probably. But I definitely, yeah, if it was between this and Veiled Experts, I'd be playing Veiled Experts. But Veiled Experts just spoke to me better as far as the type of shooter that I currently want to play. Yeah. But this game is a lot of fun.
I mean, I can definitely see us like a couple years from now, like, hey, you guys want to play a couple games of Splitgate? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Sounds fun. We'll have a great time with it, and then we'll move on. Then we'll go back to playing whatever the fuck we were playing on a normal basis, on a regular basis.
I think it's better than Halo. I'll give it that. To be honest, I think it's better than Halo. It's better than, I don't know. I think it's better than a lot of other, arcade shooters.
It's a good game.
There. It's better than Call of Duty, in my opinion. I mean, I think if that's the audience, right? It's the guys who like Halo, the guys who like Call of Duty, like that style of team deathmatch and different game modes and stuff like that. If that player base finds out about this game, they might feel at home here. I mean, I think they'll need to improve their skins and make them look a little bit cooler and freshen up the art a little bit from that perspective. But everything else, just gameplay 100, just like on the surface, it speaks to high level gameplay as well as casual gameplay. You can bring in your friend who's never played a first person shooter before, and they could come in here and play this game and feel relatively, accepted and do okay. But yeah, and cheating, while we did encounter, I think, a few cheaters, I wouldn't say it's insane given it being in a beta state still, technically in a free to play game. I think you're going to always encounter cheaters in these types of games, but there's only a few, I think, so far in some of our games. Some of them, too, it's always just, like, questionable. You're always like, wait, is that guy just really good? Or is there something else going on, right? And, but, so I would say the cheating's not too bad either. I don't know. Again, I'm still, like, 50-50 on the staying power of it. It just really depends on what audience ends up finding this game.
All right, well, let's start closing it out then. Let's go with some closing thoughts about Splitgate, and I'm so proud of myself for not saying Portals just now. Jelly. Final thoughts for Splitgate.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game is really fun, and I don't think anything that the game is doing now, or that I feel like is wrong or bad, couldn't be fixed. Right, the game is really, really good, well designed, clearly put, like the TLC was put into the game over the course of its development. There's no question about that. You can feel that in everything that's there. And the quality of assets is really good. The just overall feel is amazing for this game. And so I really hope they do stick it out and do last with it and do something great with it that I can't think of, whatever the thing is, that they've got some like card they're gonna pull it on and be like, I'm going back to Splitgate full time, let's go. Like, I want them to do that because the game is really good and deserves that kind of hold in certain parts of the market for FPS games. So I think it's really good. I think you should give it a try. It is frustrating at times, but honestly, what game isn't anymore? So it's one of those things. But yeah, I think that's it for me. What about you, Viking?
Yeah, I mean, I think the parts that are frustrating are parts that are frustrating because you either feel like you could have played better, or as a team we could have reacted to something better. Like, those are things. I was very rarely frustrated because of like, some broken mechanic or because of something that was, very much outside of my control or very much in the control of another player influencing me, right? So like if I get outplayed with portals, I just got outplayed with portals. It is frustrating, but I can also go like, well, that guy's just really good at that, and it is what it is. Like, even though I'm mad and slamming my desk at that moment, I get why it happened, and I'm okay with it for the most part. But no, I agree. I think free to play is a big part of it. I do think that their Game Pass and all that stuff looks pretty interesting. As far as if you bought the premium, it does look like it's got a lot of cool stuff in there. So, and it's again pretty good value. I think it's like either $9 or $10. I can't remember exactly, but not too shabby. You can technically earn enough currency to buy the pass through the free pass, but you will go through the whole pass before you can do that. And it's not exactly a fast progression through the pass. Like I've been playing, I forget how many hours I got at this point, but a decent amount, and I think I'm only like level 10 on the pass. So it's not very much at all, and it's 100 levels. So it's a big pass. Yeah, man, I think if you like Halo, you like Call of Duty, you like Portals, this game is going to fit what you like. And it's our arcade feeling. It does. It has arcade modes. Even actually the racing. I know you guys didn't get a chance. The racing was really cool. And actually, I think it helped me get better at my portals because you have to use your portals to be able to get to... Because you have like balls that you have to chase around, basically. And
perfect for you.
Points. Yeah, I'm great at that. But yeah, no, I think that they, like Jelly said, they really came up with like a wide variety of things that almost any person who fits this kind of genre would find a place to have fun and explore and put time into. And I do think that they can fix the stuff like that is buggy and weird. It's cross play also. I forgot to mention that. So, I think it's on Xbox, I believe. So you can play with your Xbox friends as well. So there's that. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like on a 10 system. I'd say it's like a 7.5 out of 10 as far as overall, especially for free to play and in beta. Yeah.
I think it's a great game. Really enjoyed it. Really fun game. It will stay in my Steam library. Like it's going to show up white in my Steam library, not grayed out like so many other games that I've uninstalled over the years. But
same.
It's not going to be in my recent Steam games. When I open up Steam, that's not going to be one of the first options that comes up here in probably about 2-3 months. It's probably going to be long gone from my mind. It'll just be a game that I kind of revisit every once in a while. So Splitgate, great game. Try it out for yourself. Maybe it'll speak to you more than it did to me, because it is a very cool concept, and I wish them the best because I think this was a genius on 1047's part. But yeah, that's about it. So that is going to wrap it up for this week, guys. If you have a beta game that you want us to play, let us know in the comments. If you agreed, disagreed, or just want to talk about anything we discussed during the show today, again, put it down in the comments and we'll talk about it. But I'll have Mikey Jedi, you can find him here. Jelly Knees, I'll have his Twitch and YouTube. Oh, I put in your Twitter.
You can follow me on Twitter.
There you go.
I'm decently active on there at least. So yeah, follow me on Twitter. I usually upload or put like that we're going to be going live with the premiere, stuff like that. Sometimes throw out some memes.
Right on.
Sometimes weird. I don't know, but yeah, follow me on Twitter. That's fine. Join the Discords. We have all three of us have Discord. So if you're a Discord kind of fan, join in. Be part of the discussion. We like hearing from you guys. Like, I mean, we're doing this for fun, and obviously we want you guys to have fun with it. So the more you let us know what we're doing well, what you would like us to improve upon, not just our audio levels, like maybe so, but
that needed improvement from the last
episode. But no, honestly, I mean, we're doing this to obviously entertain and have fun and play different games and get people introduced to it. So if you guys have suggestions, please comment. Do give it thumbs up. It does give us a chance to reach more people through the algorithm. I know I say it almost every time, but it's not like a money gaming thing here. We're not really necessarily trying to get rich doing this on YouTube, but we do want to hopefully encourage more people to engage with us and see the videos and see if there's any other opinions and feelings and stuff like that. So if you're in the premiere right now, please wait till after the premiere is over and also go in and comment below and give it a thumbs up, because it does help the algorithm. Sorry,
I don't know what he's saying. I'm here to get rich. I'm starting a Patreon for beta males. We're gonna have all the YouTube channels. Become a member to Mangoose's channel.
Oh yeah. You can join.
We're also starting a video game company, Kickstarter live now. Go out and buy that for $1 million.
Yeah. Mangoose has an OnlyFans of his feet.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
We're going to make a Portal MOBA. We're going to make a MOBA that includes portals that we're just going to rip off Splitgate with Paragon
Overprime
assets.
has that. Overprime has it. You can portal between lanes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh,
They beat you to it.
They did. Anyway, this is going to be the beta mail signing off. You guys have a good one. Mangoose. Special shout out to channel members I, Bloodhunter, Jelly Knees, Meow Mix for Men, Stunt, Raven, and Blastoise King.